Rain lashed against the diner's windows, blurring the neon glow of the Eat sign into a hazy smear of colour. Elias Thorne sipped into his lukewarm coffee, the tremors in his hands betraying the calm as he tried to project. Across the booth, Silas coughed, a dry, rattling sound that seemed to echo the dread coiling in Elias's gut. "He's watching us," Silas rasped, his voice low and strained. "I felt it tonight." Elias glanced around the mostly empty diner. Martha, the weary waitress, wiped down the counter with a practiced indifference. He saw nothing out of the ordinary, just the familiar discomfort of a late-night diner, the smell of stale grease and old dreams. Still, the feeling persisted, a sense of being scrutinized, weighed, judged. By who? Elias asked, forcing himself to keep his voice steady. The memory of harmony, the chilling echoes of Blackwood's experiments, pressed down on him like a physical weight. Silas didn't answer immediately. He leaned forward, his eyes narrowed, and pointed a trembling finger towards the rain-slicked road outside. "Not asterisk to asterisk, Elias. Something. Blackwood's legacy isn't buried as deeply as they think." He pulled a crumpled, water-stained map from his pocket. It was a crude rendering of the land surrounding Blackwood Estate, marked with a single, ominous X in a desolate clearing known as the Grove. Albright's notes. "The music is returning," Silas said, his voice barely audible above the drumming rain. "A promise of return. The Grove, it's the key." Elias felt a surge of adrenaline, a familiar jolt of fear mixed with a desperate need to understand. He's been trying to return to normalcy, to leave the shadows of the harmony behind, but Blackwood's reach seemed inescapable. What about Bartholomew? He's involved. "He's a shield, Elias, protecting something," Silas replied grimly. "We need to see what's at the heart of it all." The next morning, the rain had subsided, leaving a world washed clean but shrouded in a pervasive mist. They drove to the Grove, the terrain becoming increasingly treacherous. The air grew heavy, the silence oppressive. The sense of wrongness intensified with every mile. The Grove itself was a desolate clearing, dominated by a monolithic stone structure covered in thick, strangling vines. It felt ancient, malevolent. "This is it," Elias whispered, his voice catching in his throat. They pushed to the vines, finding a hidden passage leading down into the earth. The air grew colder, heavier, charged with an unsettling energy. The passage opened into a vast chamber bathed in an eerie green light. A metallic scent hung in the air. In the center of the chamber, atop a pedestal, sat an ornate music box. It began to play a haunting lullaby, a tune both familiar and deeply unsettling. "The music," Silas breathed, a look of horrified fascination on his face. "It's getting stronger." Suddenly, a voice echoed through the chamber. "Interesting to see you both here." Bartholomew stood in the shadows, tall and imposing, a subtle amusement playing on his lips. "I'm afraid your little investigation has reached its conclusion." Before Silas could react, Bartholomew moved with unexpected speed, a restraining grip clamping down on his arm. Silas struggled, but Bartholomew's strength was formidable. "He's more powerful than he appears, Elias." Bartholomew's voice was smooth, laced with condescension. "Blackwood's work was far more sophisticated than you can possibly imagine. You're just pieces in a larger game." "Let him go!" Elias shouted, but his voice felt weak, powerless against Bartholomew's control. Bartholomew ignored him, his gaze fixed on Elias. "You, Elias, are particularly interesting. You possess a resonance, a connection to Blackwood's work that's remarkable." He released Silas, who crumpled to the floor, clutching his arm. Bartholomew then turned his back and exited, seemingly unconcerned with Elias and the abandoned, injured Silas. As Elias rushed to Silas's side, he noticed something lying on the stone floor, a single crimson rose, its petals unfurling in the unnatural green light. He picked it up, the thorns pricking his fingers, a silent warning echoing in his mind. A promise of return. The harmony,